Hello, everyone, to the second ever home session of Dungeons and Drag Queens! I hope you're all doing well out there, still keeping safe, still playing D&D. Now, I said this last time, but just to clarify once more, these home sessions are meant to sort of intermediate D&D sessions between our big live shows. In these home sessions, we're going to dive further into the story of our heroes and the world of Toussaint and show you what happens in between the big events of the live shows. Now, quite shortly, I'd want to introduce to you once more our players of today's home session. So I'll call your name, and why don't you say hi for us to show you who's talking and who's playing tonight. So first up, there is Tiva playing the big red lover. Ready?
Yo, yes.
Oh. How are you feeling about tonight?
Today we're playing in the warm summer sun.
Yeah, to be honest, I feel very sweaty, but excited and also like a bit nervous about all the emotions that are coming up.
Oh,
probably.
I'm sorry. Now, talking about emotions, we've got Billy playing the elf of the party with the troubled past. It's Eli.
Well, hi there. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be...
Bumpy
Are you?
ride.
No, not at all. It's gonna, I am, going to be shouted at a lot today, I think.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all right, that's all right. I
We
deserve it.
have another player here, which is John, playing the innocent but deadly, the Jessica Gale,
Hi!
the superstar, the legend,
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
queer
stop
17-year-old.
it. Don't stop. Keep going on.
Haven't seen you in a long time playing with
I
us.
know. It's been
exciting.
ages.
I wonder what's gonna happen to Jessica today.
Yeah. I don't know.
And wait, what? Wait, we have another player joining us today.
Oh my
We're coming back
god.
once more. It's Kevin playing the most charming warlock you'll ever meet, Vanity
Maru.
Oh no, not Maru. It's Vanity Dubois, as we learned on our last episode.
Yes, Vanity Dubois or Vanity Love of
Yeah.
House Dubois. Or I really don't know yet how I'm gonna incorporate the Dubois properly
Kevin,
into my
this
name.
is the first time you playing with this crowd because you've been sort of sequestered with the other cast that we've been using for episode 2. How are you excited to meet these?
I'm so excited because it's just nice to be playing with different people.
Yeah.
Get to know how it works.
Because in the story we're supposed to be like a family of 10, right? So we all know each other equally. But in episode 1 we had 4 players, in episode 2 4 players, and now we're gonna mix the parties a little bit. So we're getting very interesting new dynamics.
Yeah, it's the first time, so take it easy on me.
Absolutely not.
No.
And then we have the first TM, Derk.
Hello, I'm Derk. I'm gonna be playing Margot Lavorne today. I'm
Gonna be so
be-
nice, baking cakes for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm just gonna
No.
take a chill, mourn, suffer.
So yeah, so we all know who Derk is as the founder of the project, and then I am Freya, and I, as we discussed last time, wrote the world and the Corona crisis. Apparently,
Yeah, we predicted Corona.
predicted
Corona crisis.
Yeah,
The Corona crisis.
yeah, and I'm going to be DMing a lovely session for you all tonight, which is going to involve crying, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Crying.
So why don't we get into it immediately? Because I'm super excited.
Yeah, let's do it. Are you guys excited?
do it.
Yeah, but I hope it doesn't take too long because it's really warm and like.
Keep it as short as possible.
Okay, so let's
Okay.
dive into the second home session.
Dungeons and Drag Queens.
It's crazy.
Where we are taking off today is 2 days after the events of episode 1 of our story, where you all attended the Feast of Plenty at the Lavorne Mansion before our dearest Eli suddenly dropped to the floor unconscious in a blast of electrical energy. It appeared that Eli had entered what is known as a witchlock, a comatose state that witches and wizards may enter when they are under a prolonged burden of severe stress. With the help of Virgo and Margot Lavorne, who had performed rituals remedying these witchlocks multiple times during the witch hunts long ago, you entered the mind of Eli to search his memory for the sinister knot that was to be untied. In the end, you managed to free Eli from the witchlock, but paid the ultimate price in doing so, the life of your other dear friend, Maru the Bard. As you all awakened from that ritualistic sleep, all of you did so in good health, except for Maru, whose heartbeat had stopped as the breath left her lungs. It is now 2 days later, and your other family members have yet to return from the witches' convention. You've tried to talk to Eli about what happened, but he was very weak, and Margot Lavorne insisted that he get some rest before reliving what had happened. You're all defeated and anxiously awaiting what comes next. And that's where we're going to pick up today's story. Eli. A mortifying gloom hangs around the house. Everyone is utterly defeated, purposeless, and unable to look anyone or themselves in the eyes. But all wage a war, a personal war in their heads, thinking what they could have done differently, and what will happen now. The morning has passed several hours ago, as a head with green hair squirms in its pillow on the first floor. It is nearly midday now, with the events of the Feast of Plenty being only 3 days ago, as the harsh sunbeams of autumn sun break through the semi-closed curtains in Eli's room. Though you remember virtually nothing of what happened when you were gone during that fateful day, many other visages of that time period haunt you still. The witch lock, it felt like being trapped in your worst nightmare for days. All the stress you had accumulated up to that point inflamed in your head. All the people from those memories plaguing your thoughts, those you left behind, those you lost. And that fateful evening at the oak tree on Melchior Becker's farm. You shake off the haunting visages once more and look outside. The weather outside couldn't be better for a Dorney's autumn day, and the warm sun trickles down into your room and gently onto your face as you lie on your bed still, late in this day, gathering the power to start it. You've been holed up in your room for the last 2 days now, trying to recover physically from the strain the witch look put in your body, and you wonder what they might think of you, what they might know. Yet the stress of facing them incapacitates you immediately, as you wonder when you might be ready.
I will get up out of my bed and admire the sun that is greeting me. And of course, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna cross my legs and say a small prayer to Tulsa, the Everstone, and pray for some endurance and strength in these hard times. And of course, well, say some kind words for one of my oldest friends, Maru.
As you concentrate on the visage of Tulsa, the patron saint of Orzon, old Orzon, that you found in a book long ago, make me a religion check.
That's gonna be a 14.
You focus in your mind as you say your prayer, one frequently told in previous ages, you believe. And as you focus, visage of a woman comes to mind. Strong but gentle, motherly. And a warmth starts to fill you up. It's been hard these last couple of days, but you're regaining your strength. Perhaps power to face everyone else once more. Back in the large living room of the mansion downstairs, the sisters Virgo and Margot sit. The living room of Lavorne Mansion consists of a large wooden dining table and a sitting corner of several eclectic sofas. Ornaments range from marble cat statues to small painted portraits of all the Lavorne house members, and the large windows of the room offer entrance to a lot of light, but no shine in the world can lift the dark spirits that loom over the family today. Virgo Lavorne sits in one of the sofas, her hands tightly clenched around a book she's trying to read. Margot Lavorne, in the meantime, stares transfixed on a point in the grass outside, while her hands purposefully play with a teaspoon, which then suddenly clatters onto a flower saucer as she sits in the living room table. Virgo shoots her eyes at her and says, "Stop that. I can't focus with you making such a ruckus." She focuses her eyes on the book again, though her eyes betray that she cannot get herself to read a word. With a creaking sound, a tall, muscular woman, Ruddy enters the living room through the door, which leads to the kitchen. She holds a wooden plank with an array of fresh meals, while a young girl with thick black curls, Jessica, precariously tries to paint her nails and balance a teapot on the tray at the same time.
Oh, Jessica, are you doing? Do you need help with that?
I'm fine. I'm trying.
And from your hands, you hear a big clang as the teapot just falls into almost like 30 shards. And you see...
Margot, can you please stop? Or go somewhere else?
Oh, I was only trying to help. Let's clean this up there. And I go to the kitchen and I try to get a small bin in which you can put the broken teapot shards.
I'm just gonna... I grab the tea shards with my bare hands.
Oh, watch out.
I'm fine.
As you try to grab these pieces by hand, trying to relieve the tension of the room as quick as possible, you manage to do so quite deftly and don't manage to cut your hands, and you see a little bit of sigh of relief on Margot's face as Virgo just keeps reading and she's not responding to anyone else. And as you 3 or 4 are standing there in that room, you can't help but notice that it's the second day after the accident, almost noon, and Eli hasn't come down yet.
Okay, listen, I'm going up there.
Are you sure that's the right idea, dear?
Yeah, Ruddy is just standing there, and since the teapot fell, they are just frozen and like something clicked. Okay, no, Margot, we need to talk to him. This is...
Virgo pipes up, says, I agree, he can't hide in there forever. Nor can you protect him. Wait, did you hear that? And make me a perception check. Everyone.
17.
11.
Both of you hear the creaking of a wood cart outside, and it slowly seems to near the mansion, and then stops. And you hear a donkey in the distance, in front of the front gate of the house.
Did you hear that? Margot, did you hear it?
Yes, I...
Will someone, for the love of God, please get the door? Someone's waiting.
I'm already
Right.
going. I'm gonna go.
I am walking after you.
Tell them we are not keen on visitors right now.
I walk to the door and even past Jessica, and I open it with some force.
And you see there a cart with a donkey strapped on top of it, and there's 2 peasants, an older woman and an older man, sitting on top of it. The older man at the front is a local mill owner that you know, and you recognize him staring at a blank spot on the ground in front of him with a pinkish hue draped over his eyes. And then in the back of the cart, on the pile of bags of wheat, sits an old toothless peasant woman who suddenly blows a kiss to the clearly charmed man and removes her peasant cap. And as she does, suddenly, out of nowhere, a flurry of pink curls come from underneath it, which she waves in front of her face. And as she looks up at you again, the face of the elderly woman has changed to that of the beautiful young woman, while her clothing magically changes to that of a beautifully ornate pink dress. And you see Vanity has returned, the man still staring blankly at the ground.
Vanity, oh my god. Oh my god. You know everything? Oh my god, you need to help. You need to fix this.
Oh my god, this trip. I have such a headache. Do you have some water? No, make it wine.
Who is that?
No, make it tequila.
You see Jessica Gill also now walks to the front door and joins you 2 in the front garden. From the back here. Who is that?
It's Vanity.
Oh God!
I heard your tone, Jessica.
Virgo! Virgo, they're back!
What? Finally. And Virgo stands up, pushes her glasses, and you see now the first time she's making eye contact with you, sees Vanity, and then...
Vanity.
Is it true?
And Margot LaForne falls silent and looks over to Virgo.
Come inside first. I fear there's ears everywhere.
As the rest of the group goes back to the living room through the small hallway, Ruddy is already in the kitchen, and we all now stand together in the living room.
So, who am I seeing?
You're now in the living room with Jessica, Ruddy, Margot, and Virgo. You engage the room and it's awfully tense, but you can't really gauge who it's coming from. Everyone is in this state of distress right now, and everyone seems to only have parts of the answer.
You've never seen the Laforne family like this, actually. Well, we're normally pretty joyous. This is the most awkward and stressful scenario that you've ever seen the family in.
The slight kind of relief that I was having from being back is kind of going when you see my back kind of get more straight and my eyes a little bit more fixed, but the smile is still there. You have a lot of questions?
Yes.
Well, me too. There's a lot I need to update everyone on.
Okay, let's sit down first. Ruddy, you were making something?
Yeah, Vanity, you want tea, Kia?
Yes, I would love a tequila.
Good. And I give you my small bucket.
It is quite pungent, but also looks like exactly what you could use right now.
You know what? Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
That was, woo!
Well, now that we're all a little bit hydrated and detensed, let's talk this through.
As we all go to sit down on the corner of sofas, this is one of the main sort of conversational areas of the Laforne mansion next to the dining table.
Well, where do we start?
Well, I think we should start by saying that it's true.
Maru's dead.
But how? We left not even half a day was by before we got your message.
You want to know how? We made a huge mistake, that's what we did. And we'll keep making them, I tell you, because all you never listen to the ones trying to keep order.
But surely there's a solution. Like, she's not really dead. There must be a
Yes,
I've been incredibly busy for the last few days, while Eli's been in bed upstairs, and I'm trying to find a way out of this mess. But there's nothing. No out. The end.
No, we tried everything. There's nothing we can do.
I pulled through all the tomes.
But also...
I told you this before, Margot.
Okay, sure, I get it.
What is there to get? She's dead.
No, it's not true.
Is...
Listen, it's not true. We've not done one thing, and that is ask Maru, because she knows everything, and she can fix this, and we will go to her room, and I know I can't read, but you're here now, you can read everything there, and we will find the answer, and I'm sure, but no one listens to me, because apparently I am dumb.
Ruddy,
No,
she's been dead for 2 days.
no, she's
gone.
how do you know?
Ruddy, I mourn as well, but Jessica's the youngest here, and she seems to have the most common sense of us.
Well,
No, let's...
no, she's gone. We got to think about something. I mean, you're a witch. You're a witch. You're all witches.
Yes,
Don't you have magic or something?
exactly, that's...
Do something.
Magic got us into this mess. I advised against the mirror ritual. We all knew the risks, and there were simply too many. Eli fell into a catatonic state, known as a witch lock. It's something that happened a lot during the Great War long ago. Apparently, he had not been telling us an awful lot of things, which we had to find out the hard way. We tried to fix his comatonic state, and we failed.
Is it true about Eli? Eli is upstairs.
Yeah. And he hasn't spoken a word to me. He does not listen. I don't understand, come on.
No, listen. You've lived with Eli for so many years. Please, well, it has to count for something that we give him that time to explain.
We've given him years to explain, Margot, and he never piped up about it. It's a wonder to me that Maru wasn't the one who entered a witch lock with how much she had to do in this house, or I, for that matter.
All right, well, I would like to have a word with Eli.
You have been hearing some of this, Eli, by the way, because it is rather loud.
But first I need to inform everyone about what's been happening.
Who's dead now?
Please don't.
Everyone's dead. But if we don't do something, we might all be dead soon. I had to come here by myself because on our way returning here, we've had several difficulties and we stopped by the carriage that had broken down previously. And
What?
well, the carriage we were using to go to the Witches' Convention.
Oh, you did tighten the wheel screws.
Well, apparently someone didn't. Yeah.
But where are the others?
Well, so on the way back here, we stopped by the carriage, and I mean, I was completely useless. So they decided that I was the best one to come back here, and so that Oliver, Aravos, and Eclair could do something about it. Mostly Eclair.
Eclair?
Sorry?
Yes, Eclair.
Is that something to eat?
Who the hell is that?
She is quite trustworthy. Let me start from the beginning. We're in terrible trouble. News of what has happened here has reached the Witches' Convention,
Oh no.
and
Oh shit. Oh.
the Lavorne Mansion.
God damn, Deirdre Bonbon.
We are currently all to be arrested.
No.
The Witches' Convention was a failure. We were all put under arrest and we escaped.
I'm sorry, I'm just finding this a little bit hard to understand. You had one job, to go to the Witches' Convention and save our hides. It was...
Our job didn't include dealing with this. I don't know how Deirdre got there. I just know her little...
what do you mean you don't know how she
Her
got
little
there? Did she just show up?
Her little apparatus or her little... I don't know how to mention it. The thing, the
clicky
flying
thingy.
thing.
She was using that
It was definitely, what is it called? The new thing that was brought that has been emerging. Those artifices? I think it was an artifice.
Fine. I'll go to talk to Imelda Violet then. I'll leave right now.
I wouldn't.
What do you mean?
Imelda is not someone you can trust.
Well, we know she's a bit sketchy, but she's done good for the witches in the past. I'm pretty sure she'd understand if we just explained.
No, I'm pretty sure she wouldn't understand.
How would you know that, Vanity?
I'm just...
Look, this is it. Somebody go get Eli from upstairs. We need answers right now. If they're coming here, they're coming here.
Okay, who?
They might be on our doorstep the next morning.
Ruddy is standing up. I'm standing up and I just stomp
At
up.
which point you would see that Eli would be stood in the doorway.
Oh,
Oh, shut down.
he's here. Oh, already.
You've come down. Took you long enough.
Is it true? Are you the one responsible? Are you responsible or are you not responsible? How could you?
Just to get this straight. So all that we've heard, that Jessica, Ruddy, and Maru experienced in that witch lock is true, so that blue liquid, that was you.
That was...
I want you and everyone here to understand, as you would, Eli, seeing as you are as old as Margie and I, very little of the suffering that we've endured as young adults during the Great War would have never happened if the plague and subsequent war had not started.
We lost a lot of friends, Eli.
You had years! 20 years! That's not just something that you forget to mention.
Don't you trust us?
It's
We
not
could
a
have
matter
helped.
of trust. And what could you have helped exactly? Look at this now. All because what? Some old guy with a prejudice and hate for me came and shouted at me and whatever the hell happened after that?
Don't you go conflicting these two things. I feel terrible what was done to you. However, that in no way contrasts to what has been done by you beforehand. The plague was terrible.
The plague was not what I wanted to happen.
But you were involved.
Well, Virgo, let him tell his story. Eli, can you go back?
Oh, Bargy, you were always the one back home to get away with everything. Don't you start talking to me about responsibility now.
Look, if anyone's going to take responsibility for this, I will gladly do so.
And how would you do
How
that?
would you do that?
Take the fate of the nation on your shoulders?
Are you gonna take back everything that's happened?
No, I can't do that. Obviously, I can't do that. But that doesn't mean that all of you have to lay blame for it as well.
Oh, don't you play the victim over here.
I'm not playing the victim.
The only victim who's here is her right there.
Before we try and divide blame, Eli, can you take us to the night of what happened? We need to know every specific detail of what we're accused of. Please.
But how am I guilty? I was not even born back then.
You're guilty by association, Jessica.
Jessica,
And you're guilty by causing it.
the truth is, Imelda... I think Imelda just wanted an excuse to deal with us.
Which we warned you all beforehand.
Then our suspicions were true. Imelda did have it out for the house.
But why?
Because she's trying to make a world without witches, or at least ones who don't practice magic. We're taking big risks here every day.
We're just living our freedom, and
Marty, freedom is all well and good, but if we don't take the necessary precautions to then safeguard ourselves...
well, we have been pretty loose with protocol.
Would you say?
No, I'm partially to blame for that.
No, but I think it's beautiful.
Well, it's not so beautiful now.
Well, we can all revel in its beauty rotting in a cell in Alberia.
Eli, we need to know what happened. We need to know what secret we are accused of hiding. Can you please bring us back to the day of what happened when, I don't know, with this liquid, who and what? Please, we really don't understand.
I can't take you. Well, I can take you further back than that. So, back when I was much younger and I lived in Montclair, of course, you all know what it was like, the divide between the borders, especially the two of you.
Right.
Well, war was brewing regardless of whether this happened. That was an inevitability. And when the humans came and built a fortress right on our borders, well, could have seen it as an outright act of war already, but the elves, they just decided to just let it be, do nothing about it, except for maybe espionage and other such things, but I was not involved in any of that. I grew up in a forest. It was a beautiful place.
And who is this Regis?
Regis was, originally he grew up, I guess, many years before I did, in the same forest. The rumors were that he went away to join the Delphine Division, which is an elven division of, I guess, spies, almost like a magical SWAT team of some kind. They were there to, well, I guess do any covert missions that needed to happen, but at a certain point they disbanded it, or at least he returned. He was a brilliant man. Amazing ideas. He didn't want to stand around while people spread vicious and malicious rumors about elves that just weren't true. We were peaceful people. We wanted to live with the land. We wanted to help the land, to make sure that the magical energies that the land gives us could flow and be free for everyone to have and use. We just wanted peace. I don't know what he learned when he was away, but his morals and ideas started to change. I was young and he was brilliant. We started training together just to protect ourselves, to protect our lands in case anything would happen. They just built a fortress less than, I don't know how many miles from my hometown.
This is the Baron Citadel?
Very same.
Right.
What?
It's like a fort or an estate built on the border to provoke the elves.
It's the largest military and prison citadel that the Alberian Empire has. It's located on the exact border between the three nations.
Building it on, it started the Cold War. They tried to taunt the elves.
It's a prison. A prison?
It's
They
a
only keep
military
the
base.
highest war criminals there, which I guess will be us, unless we figure this out.
They built it next to Arlaveau. That's the city that our council holds council. I can show you the map if you'd like.
Yes, very much. Thank you.
And Eli takes from his back pocket, which he had grabbed from his room, a small map of Doran and part of Montclair, it seems. Hello everyone, we're taking a small intermission and I just wanted to let you all know that these episodes are made possible by our patrons over at patreon.com/DNDQNL, all letters DNDQNL. We really couldn't make this type of content if it weren't for those people backing us every month over at Patreon. Right now, everyone backing us on Patreon is getting shoutouts by their favorite characters from our cast, as well as receiving episodes early. So these podcasts that you're listening to now have already been available to Patreon users for a while now. Finally, our patrons always get a pre-sale so that they can be the first to get tickets for our new live shows whenever there's one available again. This way, they'll make sure they have a ticket because they always sell out so fast. So if you want to support the channel or help us further, or if you even just like the content that we're putting out in this way, please consider supporting us on Patreon because it really, really makes a world of difference. And to those already backing us on Patreon, thank you so much. You're amazing.
Right, and what did Regis do then?
Well, we trained, and then he disappeared for a while, but we had a group of, well, I guess members of our tribe who we trained to protect in case everyone else wasn't willing to do anything. Because the council had decided that just staying neutral was the best line of action, but it wasn't. They were being clearly aggressive and something needed to be done. Regis, he came with a plan. He told us that we could put a stop to it all. There was no need for a war. But we had to do one thing.
Which was?
You think he would trust the details like that with an underling like me?
What did he say?
He said that we were going to stop the war.
How?
By stopping them from being able to get into our lands anymore.
And then what happened?
I think we all know what happened then.
Well, you must have then guessed that something was up.
We crossed the borders at night. Regis and I and one other elf whose name I can't recall anymore. She was recent to our group. Regis trusted me and gave me, well, I guess you all know what he gave me. And he said that I should go to the Great Oak, and if I was to do this, it would form a magical barrier so that the humans couldn't cross it, because the humans can't use magic to get across that anymore. So I did it. And I saw what happened. I saw how the ground reacted to it, so I ran back to our meeting point, but Regis wasn't there. And then, I don't even really know what happened to him. I returned back, and the council had found out what we had been doing, and they were questioning, looking for Regis, so I couldn't return home anymore. So I left. I found you.
Eli first came to us when we were holed up in Levidia, together with our mother. We were fleeing the first extents of the Great Wall. However, you're leaving out one particular detail that I'm very interested in. The only thing that might save us. How did Regis, this man, get that substance? You must know something, Eli.
Please try to recall.
I don't know anything about that.
Try harder. If I'm going to make a case against someone who wants me dead, I want every single detail.
I understand that, but I think I'm a little bit beyond hiding facts from you right now. I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to bring you into any of this. If no one knew anything, everything would have been fine.
We fostered you, Eli.
Equally as much as I did you.
Back then, this is our house, and we extend that to all of you. Maru and I kept this house going.
But surely some people have secrets and you didn't mean to cause offense.
As Vanity says that, you get a hint of relatability. But Vanity seems to have some stress in her body of something recently happening as well. Not necessarily connected to this, it seems.
Eli, I think I understand. I think it's maybe a bit foolish, but we still would have loved to know, though.
I'm afraid we're going to have to make some tough choices here.
Tough choices?
Say it.
Without Maru, I have very little faith that I can pull this together. I'm afraid we'll have to go split up and go into hiding.
No.
Hiding?
No.
Margot, we've done this before. Do you have a better option then?
No, but this is basically Lavinia.
Sorry, to make things worse, this is worse than Lavinia. This time they're after us specifically. Look, I'd love a solution, but how in earth do you think we're going to do that?
Oh, we've got hundreds of books around here. There's got to be something.
I've read through it all, Jessica.
You can't fix this. So we need Maru back, right? Yeah, we need Maru back.
There's
so
no need pondering on this longer.
magic.
Witch locks are a terribly complicated thing. The point is, Maru got lost in there, and she's not coming back.
But she's lost. She's not gone. She's lost, like find
Lost
her
in the
way.
same way that if I put a dagger through your heart, you're lost. I don't know what to tell you, children. This is all getting way too complicated. And I don't know how to solve this. Trust me when I say that there's nothing. I've learned for 40 years almost what I could about magic and the arcane. This is not possible.
Resurrection, it's simply not done. It's, listen, we've lost a lot of friends in Lavinia through witchlock, through everything. You know, if there was a form of resurrection, we had all the witches there to pull it off, and this is part of life. This is...
There's not necessarily holy magic in the world of Toussaint. There are witches which practice the arcane and the nature magic, which are, for example, Virgo and Margot. And there are, as you know, only a vague, small group of people able to practice this sort of more religious-based magic, but that is... You too get your magic largely, or used to get your magic largely from nature, but you've not heard of something that could bring a person back. Where you come from, that was never talked about, at least.
It is really not done. I've been a druid now for almost 30 years. And it doesn't happen.
I'm afraid we're going to have to let go. And I know that is hard. Trust me when I say that I struggle with it every hour of every day.
I just feel so sorry for her. I mean, this is not...
Margot, we need to move on. We're in danger.
Virgo, I realize that you're probably rather busy in that mind of yours right now. But it does boil as a question that needs answering. Why are they holding a witches' convention in an old ratio prison?
Vanity. I'm glad you're here at least, because we need to know more.
Well, during the witches convention, Imelda announced a new product.
A product?
What did she mention there?
She mentioned a necklace. She showcased a necklace that has the ability to absorb and seal, basically, I think, a witch's power so that witches can live amongst other non-witches.
Sorry, what? What a ludicrous thing.
Without any consequences.
Wait. Virgo, what do you make of this?
I think you know where this is headed, Margot.
This is a stupidly bold move of the Witches Association.
Well, apparently they can pull it off.
What are you talking about? Isn't it just a necklace?
The Witches Association has, that is true, been acting as an emancipatory institution for witches, the first one we've ever had. But Imelda is not to be trusted.
No.
When she introduces something like this, that's an alarm bell for me. Look,
listen, we can't just stay hiding all the time. We need a plan.
Oh, like what? We're going to murder the Emperor now?
Maybe.
You're out of your mind, Vanity.
Maybe we can find help with the elves.
Oh, because they've been helpful.
The elves will never accept us.
That might not be entirely true.
Oh, so you'll vouch for us then? And what if they learn, too, that you were responsible? Do you think they'll invite you in with open arms?
No, but they would understand a little bit more of what Regis was than it is you seem to.
They are one of 3 elven communities that make up the Republic of Montclair, and they're the most militaristic, most traditional and conservative in their views, and they are all wood elves, which very much hunt humans who enter their forests, which they see as sacred. The most likely scenario to happen if we were to go over the border is that we would get killed on the fine line. They are still soldiers.
Well, but guess what? The most likely scenario that's gonna happen if we stay here is that we get killed.
Which is why we need to go somewhere they wouldn't expect.
Where?
I don't know. I am sorry. But as much as I would like to believe this hopeful story, you are the only elf in this group, Eli, and you have a troubled connection with the elves across the border. The rest of us are all human.
Well, we have Aravos, who's not really human, and, you know, I'm also half elven.
Excuse me?
What?
Yes, my mother is...
I knew you were too pretty.
I am going to
Yeah.
excuse myself from
Sorry,
this
Jessica.
conversation and go upstairs. If I find out anyone's been harboring more secrets from me... And Virgo just walks up the stairs and to her study.
Why didn't you tell us, Vanity? And are we that untrustworthy? What is happening to this family?
I just joined. Give me a break. I still don't know any of you, and...
But do we look like the people that would have any prejudices against elf? Look at Eli. I mean, like we harbored him for 20 years.
Well...
Sorry, but we really can't take this anything other than an insult.
I had my ears clipped when I left Arlevo.
I heard about that practice.
That's why if I tell people, it's like I'm betraying my mother, who made such an effort to hide this in order to protect me.
Right.
It's not as easy as it looks, okay?
I'm sorry.
Everyone has secrets, okay?
Yes. Yes, I know. Sorry, I was being accused.
It's not like you're being telling everything truthfully here.
I think we're all very confused at this point. I am going to replenish the ritual on Maru. Is there anybody that would like to visit the body?
You know that
Yes, please.
you've been helping those who could or could mentally bring it up to help in a ritual with Margot Lavorne to preserve the body of Maru. It is indefinite, but it is hard labor.
I want to join.
I'll do it.
You don't have to do it. You just have to sit with her if you want. You can stand in the corner and just look. I think it's important that we at least see the body. It will make things more real.
What about the others? I mean, Erebos, he would want to say goodbye.
They'll have that time. She'll be still here for a couple of days.
I just can't.
No,
I'm sorry, I just can't. I gotta talk to Virgo. And Jessica turns and storms out of the room.
I will also leave with Jessica towards Virgo.
First, then we'll play out the scene with Ruddy, Vanity, and Margot, and then we'll do Virgo, Eli, and Jessica.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So, Ruddy and Vanity, you join Margot as you walk through the silence of the house. Margot Lavorne's room is located on the left of the ground floor to the mansion, next to the kitchens, as a sweet waft of air hits your nostrils as you enter it. The room is filled with several aromatic bushes in wooden troughs. A room divider lazily hides a few piles of summer caftans, and dried tea leaves, which hang from the wall near a cozy sitting area, rustle as a chill breeze flies through the room. A dangling wind chime tries to lift the spirits of the forlorn scene, but to no avail, as it is now dangling a little too loudly as the wind outside is getting a little heavier. Then you see there in the middle of the large table Maru's body lie, next to an extensive wooden medicine cabinet. Her body still unbothered by time, just the same as when Eli, Jessica, and Ruddy, you brought her back from the witch lock. A superficial change of Maru's clothes hides most of the damage to her body, and her face, slightly contorted and cold, almost makes it seem like it isn't her necessarily. A collection of stringy vines are draped around her body, creating an ellipse of green and purple beautiful roots around it. From the beginning of the thorny stems sprout flowers, which puff small white smoke clouds in regulated intervals.
They are, it's a ritual against decomposition, and it'll help us take our time letting her go. I'm sorry for the way that she looks in the face. I haven't had to do this in a long time. Next to the table stand a couple of chairs if you would like to sit down.
I'm not sitting down. I walk up to Maru, right next to her, and just watch her face.
I stumble after all the drinking towards the direction of the chairs, and it's real, isn't it?
I'm afraid it is. Margot Lavorne walks towards the window, and there is a small humming device, and with a small scale, she twists it a little bit to the left, and you feel the temperature in the room grow a little bit colder. Yes. God, this is so stupid. This is so... Yeah. It is such a unnecessary, useless, stupid, strange, and I can't believe this is really happening.
Margot, I've been thinking these 2 days. It feels like I never really woke up.
I know.
How do I know if this is real?
I know.
I just don't think this is real. This is not real.
I know. She didn't deserve this at all. And I'm so sorry to you, Ruddy, that you had to witness this. And that you had to bring her back instead of us. It should have been Virgo and me in the Witchlock solving it, instead of you. And we made a terrible mistake. And really we have all the blame.
What I just don't understand is she just stepped forward and she stood there but she wouldn't have done it if she would have died, right?
I think the biggest lie that we've been telling you is that we can keep you safe. And people die 20 years ago and they die now. And all the experience in the world won't keep you safe.
But how do we go on? What do you do when this happens? I just don't know. I've been stuck in this loop. I just don't know. And you should tell me. You should tell me.
I don't have an answer. I'm so sorry, Ruddy. I wish I had an answer. Nobody knows how this works. It'll always hurt. There is no way around it. Ruddy, you're an amazing friend. I can see that, and you work so hard. But we lost a lot of friends 20 years ago with the witch hunters. And thinking that you're gonna save someone that's gonna eat you up. I personally think that Virgo never got over it. And Margot de Vorn tends to the circle of flowers. And she gets a small bottle from the medicine cabinet. And she goes over the flowers, and with a small pipette, she takes some drops and starts dripping them in the flowers lying around Maru. And when she gets to a few of the last flowers, she shakes the bottle and turns it over and says, "Oh, I seem to have run out of alcohol. It's for the flowers, it kills the bacteria."
Wait, it has to be like...
But what is this for? Why do we need it?
Well, I have to drip it on the flowers. Do you see these puffs of smoke? It travels through the root network, and I need to have almost pure alcohol as a casting component for this ritual. Maybe I can travel to the nearest farm or something and...
No, wait. You know, for the feast, I got a bottle or two of stuff that might, you know, be strong enough. It's in my room, I can check.
Right, that's perfect. Once you exit the room, you see that the puffs of smoke, the intervals become longer again as the ritual is sort of losing its balance.
I walk up 2 floors and I come to a few doors, and to the left there's 2 doors, and one of those is Maru's room and one is mine. And I wait a second and then I turn left and go to my room.
To go to your room, you often shovel your way through piles of laundry, misplaced objects, and enthusiastic though unfinished art projects. However, small decorative lights counterbalance the messiness of your room slightly once you get inside, and your room is always festive and cozy. Before you reach the door, as you leave Maru's door behind you, you hear a sound come from it. A clattering window from inside. Mara's been your neighbor for years and not without friction. When you were loud, she would bang on the wall. When your room would smell, she would also bang on the wall. And when you were too silent, she would quietly peek to see if everything was okay. But the banging from the room next to you did not come from the bard this time. As you walk by, you see that because of the heavy wind outside, which is now picked up, the unhinged window knocked Maru's makeup and toiletries all over the ground as it swung open, and broken pallets and leaves from outside now stain the otherwise meticulously cleaned carpet. There's a vanity mirror, which was hers, which stands on the opposite of the room, and it now contains a crack right down the center, as the impact from the small window cracked the vanity glass. A bird then flies in through the open window, lands on the carpet, and starts picking at the open lipstick caps on the ground.
I quietly stare at the bird and then slowly come closer.
So you enter the room?
I enter the room.
Alright. You open the door and the bird immediately goes away, and it is now quite a mess in here. Maru's room is decorated with a few small but tasteful paintings, a large bookcase, and a few room dividers shielding any vision to her purple bed. Make me a perception check.
+2. This is 10.
That's exactly what you needed. On her desk, next to the now partially broken vanity, lies a schedule of Jessica's home tutoring, which you and Maru have taken upon themselves together in the last year. On the nightstand, you see several volumes that she was working her way through, and in the closet to your right hang carefully draped robes, preventing them from getting wrinkles. And you notice now that the vanity mirror stands at a bit of an odd angle. But that is not what catches your attention. Behind the vanity mirror seems to be an object embedded in the wall. A small knob of sorts? Or a button?
Okay, when I notice this, I very carefully walk, like I never walk like that, but in this room I do, and very carefully walk to the vanity.
So this gigantic square-jawed woman
Yes.
is sort of trying to not step on any of the makeup that's now scattered over the room, being blown off by the wind. And you make your way across the room toward... Yeah.
You arrive at the vanity, and you see it quite clearly now. There is a metal button in the otherwise wooden wall, embedded snuck behind the vanity.
Okay, my heart rate picks up, and I immediately push it.
So as you push the button, you hear a puff of steam releasing, it seems. You look around as you hear the whirling of cogs, which was a sound you would never have expected in this house. And you see nothing move. And then a piece of fake wall slides open on the other side of the room, revealing a staircase upward and a singular arcane rune that floats over it ever so slightly, which you recognize in its lightly purple hues to be a spell of Virgo-Lavorn. As it dissipates, the staircase is revealed upward, a ladder. So we cut back to the ground floor where Jessica and Eli go to the other room, Virgo's study, which is a large room decorated with a long open piano, scarcely but beautifully decorated, quite tasteful. There's a long writing desk and a number of bookcases. And as you... Do you knock?
I just barge in.
You open the door and you see her behind the piano, but unable to play. As she would get very angry. She just looks at you silently, and you see that she's been crying a lot. What is it?
I need you to teach me.
Hey babes! Before you continue watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our D&Drag Patreon, where you can help us develop this crazy show further.